Hello and welcome to another episode of the Aesthetic Lifestyle Podcast. Today we're going to be covering vision and values. Now, a lot of the time people will think that they can't be consistent with their goals just because they're lazy. And what really happens is that you don't have a strong enough reason to stick the course when things get tough. Now, we're not just looking here at what is your why. Okay, we're going and taking multiple different directions here and making sure that we can actually build a routine that is one that fills us with fulfillment and purpose so that we can continue going and going and going even when times are tough, when times are hard, because it's not going to be easy every single day. Now, most people think setting goals is enough, and it's not. It's so much more than that. Goals are things that we should achieve, okay? But really, our goals are in service to our vision, who we want to become, the life that we want to have. Our vision is the bigger picture that our goals are in service to. And tell me, message me, have you ever had a fat loss goal to lose a certain amount of weight or to any goal in general, and then as soon as you hit it, you lose all motivation because you just think there's nothing beyond that goal. You've hit this and it's like, sick. What do I do now? Now what? And that's where vision comes in. Because vision isn't something that we achieve. Okay, goals are something that we absolutely should achieve. And what tends to happen is people think, oh, when I hit this goal, everything's going to change. I'm going to be happy. I'm going to be this. But then when you do achieve it, yeah, sure, you might be happy in the moment, of course, because you've achieved the goal that you set out. But then you've not moved the goalposts. You've not changed anything. You just thought, when I hit this, everything's going to be great. There's going to be fucking rainbows everywhere. But the reality is, the goal itself was never the issue. So by the end of this episode, you'll understand the difference between goal setting and your vision, why most people fall off track because they don't have alignment with their vision or their values. Their actions on a day-to-day basis don't align with their values. We're going to look at how we fix that. So like I've already said, vision isn't something that we achieve. Goals are something that we achieve. Goals are milestones. They are in service to our longer-term vision. But what is vision? Vision is who you are as an individual, what you stand for, how you want to be perceived by others, by yourself, by friends, by family, by your kids. And vision is really infinite. It's continuously evolving. It's how you want to show up every single day. So an example of this is a goal is to lose 10 kilograms, but fucking sick, right? There's no substance to that. A vision, however, is to be a strong, confident, high energy, great health leader for your family. Someone who provides for your family, someone who their friends look to for inspiration and support whilst having full control over your health. That's a vision. And if your only focus is on the goal in front of you, what happens when you've ticked that box? When you've achieved the goal? Like, it happens every single year. It might have happened to yourself when it comes to summer. Oh, I'm going to look good for summer. I'm going to diet for summer. This summer's going to be the one where I look good. And you might achieve that. But what happens after summer? You go back to square one because you don't have a clear vision that you actually want to live by. Now, a powerful vision isn't just about the goals that you've achieved. It's about who you want to become and how that serves you and how that serves your life in all areas of your life as well. Not just the fitness side of things, because that's what we're talking here, but in all areas of your life. So ask yourself, physically, what do I want? How do I want to look? How do I want to feel on a day-to-day basis? Do I want to make the everyday tasks easy because I've got so much strength that I can do whatever it may be? I've got the flexibility to do X, Y, and Z. Socially, how do I want to show up for my friends, for my family? What type of characteristics do I want to have? How do I want to be perceived by them? And your wisdom and your growth, what kind of mindset do I want to have about, everyday life, about challenges that come up? How do I want to think about certain things? Do I want to be someone who embraces challenge, someone who works really, really hard no matter what's coming, no matter what obstacle is in the way. So an example vision statement for you is, I'm a strong, confident, high energy man who is mentally resilient. I'm a leader in my everyday life, within my friendship group, within my family life, and I wake up every single day with high energy, knowing that I'm getting after it, that I'm living in alignment with the things that I truly value. And I'm committed to continuous growth and high standards. And most people, they just think too small when it comes to crafting their vision. It's the same when it comes to goals. People, they really need to lose 10 or 15 kilos and that's what they really want. But they'll say to themselves, I'll just lose 2 or 3. But it's not what they really want. Craft the vision that you truly fucking want. Now, when you have a clear, meaningful vision, it stops the everyday things, the challenges, being such a fucking chore, because it's no longer just about, I have to do this thing because I want to achieve X. You doing these certain things isn't just in service to the goals, it's in service to you becoming the person that you want to be. So for example, if you aspire to be someone who is high energy, exceptionally fit, you're able to chase your kids and your dogs around later in life and have no problems whatsoever with that, then all of a sudden skipping workouts is a lot fucking harder, because you're conflicting with what your true vision of what you want out of life is. But a weak or unclear vision just muddies the pond. It makes things difficult, because if it's unclear, if it's too vague, motivation's going to dip and you're just going to be constantly trying to rely on that, when we know we can't always rely on motivation. It comes and it goes. It's a real thing, of course, but we don't always have it. I don't have it every single day. Nobody has it every single day. And what we also need to consider is, if your vision is just based purely on external factors, I want to look good to make these people jealous, or I want to look good to have these people tell me that I look good. First of all, what happens if they never say that to you? And what happens when that's already happened? That's the same as a goal. It's gone. There's no big vision there. It's just, I want to do this because of something that's meaningless. Your vision has to be bigger than fitness, and it has to be something that's truly meaningful to you. But we can't have a life where we're living with full clarity towards our vision without looking at the things that we truly value as well. And our values shape every single decision that we make. You might not have considered it yet, but they absolutely do. Values, they're not just words or things that we make up. They're almost internal cues that we live by every single day. Your values are like your internal operating system. Every decision, whether it's conscious or unconscious, is going to be dictated to and operated by the things that you value in life, which is why, again, it's so important to have a completely personalized plan that takes these things into account. Because we'll get onto this in a little bit. If you don't have a plan that works with the things that you truly value and it's making you conflict, you're going to come off course at some point. So what I want you to take away from this is, your values drive your behavior. But if your actions don't align with the things that you truly value, what you're doing is you're creating internal conflict. Now, your values dictate who you're becoming, okay? And if your values are weak, misaligned, then again, the consistency side of things, it's not going to be there, because you're not living a life full of purpose. It's not going to align with you as an individual. And being really, really clear on the things that we value makes everyday decisions so much fucking easier, because if it conflicts with our values, we know when to say no. Whereas if we don't know what our values are, then we can't do that, and we're just creating this big internal conflict. Whereas if, for example, we really value family, that is a core value for us, and then when we look at it in a fitness context, right, a big part of life in your family could be family dinners, right, that you have all together in the evening. And if your fitness plan then takes that away from you, you're conflicting your values. and it's just going to crash and burn very, very soon. Whereas you have the right plan that takes into account, okay, this is something that you truly value, so we're going to keep this in and we're going to work or figure out a way to make this work whilst you do that, which is likely to be more successful. Now, you can say you value certain things, but your actions say different. You can say that you value growth, you value hard work, but your actions just show that you run at the sight of challenge, the sight of discomfort. You might say that you value your family, but you don't take the time to spend time with your family, or when you're with them, you just sat there with your fucking dick in your hand scrolling social media. And what this leads to is you feeling stuck, frustrated, confused and lost, but never really knowing why. And that's because you're not clear on what your values are. It will leave you procrastinating and self-sabotaging without you ever knowing why. So what we need to uncover is, what are the things that you truly value? Now, instead of just picking arbitrary, I'm a little bit hungover, picking that word is difficult. Instead of just picking a random thing off of a list, we've got to do a life space assessment. And this is going to allow us to uncover what the things are that you currently value, okay? So at the moment, ask yourself, how do you feel your personal and your professional space? How do you feel that time? What do you do in those time periods? And what do you prioritize on a day-to-day basis? Because, I've spoke to loads of people that will say they prioritize growth, they prioritize progress, they prioritize this and that. And their screen time on social media, fucking around on TikTok or, swiping right on Tinder, hoping to get laid, is massively high. So it conflicts with the things that they actually say that they value. How do you spend your energy? What excites you? What drains you? What gets you pumped up and excited to go away and do this? And what leaves you with that feeling of, fuck me, I really don't want to do that, right? We've all had nights out, or someone's messaged us and said, oh, do you want to come and do this? And you've said yes in the moment. And then when it actually comes to doing it, you're like, fucking hell, I really can't be fucked to do that. We've all done it. And again, it's because we're conflicting with the things that we value. Another thing to really look at here is, how do you spend your money? What are the things that you spend your money on? And is it money well spent for the things that you truly want? Again, it could be someone that says, right, I want to really prioritize my health. That's going to be a major value of mine, an aspirational value, whatever it is. Or they say it's a core value, but then they're spunking all their money on binge drinking at the weekend. So what do you currently spend your money on? And what things in your life are you always drawn back to? The things that are always present, that will constantly come up over and over and over again. And it might go away for a period of time, but it always comes back. So an example of this could be that you currently spend a lot of time researching health and fitness. Your actions might not show that yet. So that would be an aspirational value. It's something that you want to have as a core value, but your actions just don't quite show it yet. We could look at this from a financial perspective as well. You could say that you value, or you spend time going, right, I want to have great wealth. I want to have financial independence, but you spunk every penny you have on shit, on nights out, on clothes that you don't actually need. So again, that would be an aspirational value. It's not a core value. So I've touched on two things in here: core values and aspirational values. Core values are the things that you already live by, what you value currently, what your actions show that you value on a day-to-day basis. Whereas aspirational values are things that we would like to value, but our actions don't show it yet. So for example, if we take health, most people want to live a life where they're healthy, where they're looked after, where they're in good shape. But a lot of the time the actions just don't quite show it yet. So that would be an aspirational value because it's something they aspire to live by. So if we look at the core value, an example of this, if we say health again, if you say health is a value of yours and you're sleeping well, you're eating well, you're training consistently, then that would tick the box to be a core value. So how do we bridge the gap and make sure that we're constantly living in alignment with the things that we already value and the things that we want to value? When it comes to the aspirational values, we have to look at, okay, well, where am I going wrong here? How am I, where is the chain broken? and how can I fix that? What do I need to start doing, or what do I need to stop doing? And then with everything that you will be doing is to take one small step at a time. You don't need to, again, go from zero to hero, jump stark naked in the water straight away. You need to build up to these things and make small changes, because if we look at it like a cold water plunge, fuck that, can't be dealing with an ice bath first thing in the morning or ever. But when it comes to cold water, you're getting in the sea, getting in an ice bath if that's your thing. What you do is you put your little toe in and go, fuck, that's cold. And you might sit there for a little bit, then you go up to your knees, fuck, that's still pretty cold, but it's not as bad. And then you go in, you dip your bollocks in, and that's when you're really fucked. But you'll get in progressively, and it will, over time, not be so bad. And that's what you need to do with the fitness side of things, or any big changes that you make in your life, is go, get your toes in, get your knees in, then get your bollocks in where it's really fucking cold. But take these small steps that will lead to big change. Now, when we're making decisions, we've got a really easy framework that we can use, the values-based decision model. Okay? Does this align with my values? Yes or no? And will this choice bring me closer to or further away from my vision? For example, your vision could be you want to live a healthy, high energetic life where you lead by example for your family and friends. You might have health as an aspirational value, but you might also consider, you know what, I can't be fucked to do this workout, a little bit tired today, I don't really want to. You ask yourself those two questions, it's conflicting with your values and it's taking you further away from your vision. And when you consistently make decisions based off the things that you value, your vision, staying on track all of a sudden becomes a whole lot easier, because all you're doing is staying true to yourself. And that's not to say you're going to be perfect every single day. You're going to live in alignment with your vision and your values every single day, every single decision. No. But for the most part, that's what we want to be striving for. Now, if you want some more help to get clarity over what your values are, how to construct your vision, DM me on social media, drop me an email that just says vision and values, and I'll send you over a document that can help you do that for free. And if this episode hit home for you, you found it useful, you want to grab the document, please subscribe for more, share it with a friend, and I'll see you in the next one.